Hi folks, welcome back to another week with F45 Trading, our market review for the week of March 11th to the 15th. We're looking at the dollar index here right now, and we just took out these highs as was mentioned before. A nice big run up on Thursday, and then Friday sold off a little bit, and we're kind of right in the middle of that range right now. So we can see that price obviously did run these highs and took the stops out as predicted. And I'm going to look to see, we had a nice retracement on Friday. I wouldn't expect it to have to come all the way back underneath this low here. It may do that Monday and Tuesday and then want to rebalance back down in this low consolidation area. You can see, I'll just borrow this here. You can see there's a little bit of consolidation. These 1, 2, 3 previous highs from these daily candles back in there could be an area of interest if we lose this 97.17 level on the daily. We could see price want to run back down there. I don't think they're done on the upside yet on this, and seasonally speaking, we start to see the top in the U.S. dollar right around this time in March, and usually a decline afterwards. But I think we could see price starting to roll back over once that starts to kick in, but we could see price run up to even right up into right around the 98.40 level. I'll put on the chart here. We'll just call it that right now, and then when price starts to work its way up to that, then we can refine it from there. But this is sort of what I'm looking at going forward on the US dollar now that we've finally swept above these highs in here. Nice big bullish up candle. Price closed above these highs here, and then just a bit of a retrace Friday. So again, I'm expecting things to continue higher, and we just got Sunday's candle is just opening here right now. So we'll see what they want to do going into Monday. If we don't see this low getting taken out, then we're probably just going to steamroll higher, run that up, and then hopefully we'll see the seasonal start kicking in here in a little while, and eventually it'll probably pull price back down. We don't have too far to go. We're at 97.30 right now, so it's only really $1.10 to go on the US dollar, so not a large range by any stretch of the imagination. Could take them a week or two to get up there, but I would imagine that we'll probably sometime towards the third week in March or see them get up to that high there, and then from there I would expect a bit of a retracement, and probably a price for the dollar start to retrace and reverse a little bit, and maybe want to scoop up some of these lows here that they've been leaving under the market that I've been talking about for quite some time now. If we look at the weekly calendar, I just want to bring this up just to make mention. We do have some US dollar news on Monday that you should be aware of, and we do have Fed Chair Powell speaking as well too late in the day Monday evening. But going into Tuesday, just watch this right here. We have high impact pound sterling news events, and then we have a tentative Brexit parliamentary Brexit vote. A tentative. I don't know what time that's taking place on Tuesday yet, so I'll just get you to make sure that you're aware of that, and you get the time on that, or you avoid cable. And trading cable until after that vote has taken place. I'll talk about cable here in a little bit, but I just wanted to bring that up just so you know it's on your charts, and it doesn't blindside you if you're trading the cable, and all of a sudden price fluctuates a couple hundred pips out of the blue for no reason. It's because they had a parliamentary Brexit vote that finally made a decision. Going into Wednesday, we have some more US dollar core durable goods and PPI numbers, more cable news releases, annual budget release, and then we've got some yen news going into Thursday and Friday, monetary policy news events. I would definitely steer clear of the yen until those events subside, and then going into Friday, it's just more medium impact news events to finish off the week. So in terms of the news on cable, fairly high impact, and we do have a couple of high impact news events for the dollar, so just be aware of those going into this week's trading. Just talking about the euro, same idea we had last week as the dollar. Price came down, swept underneath these lows here that we were targeting, and after a brief retrace back up into these areas, up into here where that high is there, and then we had price fall off. This weekly speaking, I've got a level down on here about the 110.20 level that I think could be the target to the downside if we see that continued push higher on the dollar. But again, seasonally speaking, the euro is also starting to see an area in time where reversals start to happen at this point in time. So if you want to learn more about that, then I would just advise you to go and just check out the seasonals for the euro, the dollar, and the cable, and you can see that right around middle towards the end of March, you can see price starting to reverse and go the opposite way for several of those pairs. So you'll have to do that on your own. I'm not going to go through that now, but I think we do have a good possibility that this 110.20 level could get hit. We're not too far away from that now. Let me just get rid of this here so you can see that a little bit better. We're currently trading at 112.30 at the time of this recording, and so really not a whole lot. I mean, we're only talking about 200 pips lower. The Euro USD could put that in easily, spike down there, and then gather some support, and then those seasonal tendencies could come to play, and then we could see runs higher. That's why I have this X above here, because I think this is where they're going to start targeting some of the levels next, just right above those highs right in there, if the seasonalities come into play. So just keep that in mind on Euro, but we'll be looking, I'm looking for bearish continuation lower on the euro, and same as the dollar. If we lose this high here from last Thursday, then chances are price is probably going to come all the way back up to right around the 112.90 level to 113 even. So just watch out for that. If we do see price run up there, I would expect that level to gather some sort of resistance on the upside, and then price will probably roll over from there and make a run for that 110 level. But to be honest with you, we've hit some levels back in here, some of these lows in here, where I think they could very well just roll this thing over right from here. We'll wait and see how Monday plays out. Those are sort of the levels that I'm looking at to come in to play, and basically just to draw it out for you, it'd be just something very similar to this. Real simple, nice and easy, don't want to confuse you too much. That's what I'm looking at for the rest of this week, and maybe even into next week, depending on how long Euro USD takes to do that. This daily candle right here was actually the biggest daily candle the Euro has had in quite a while. It was about 140 pip candle daily range, so it's been a while since we've had a big daily range like that. So I wouldn't expect another massive daily range like that, so that's why I don't think there's going to be a straight shot down to this level here. I think they're going to bring it up into here for the next couple of days and then maybe drop it, and it'll take them all this week and maybe into next week to get down to those levels there. So cable, again, we're hitting Brexit on cable, so I don't want to talk about this pair too much. We had a bit of a gap right here from last Thursday is open to the close on Friday, and then where we're currently sitting in this week. So I would expect them to come back in, fill that up. But with Brexit, I think they're probably going to take this down further than where it's at. We did just sweep below this low here. So I want to see their willingness to go under the 129.60 level or 57 level that I have on the chart here, and see if they want to rebalance a little bit lower. If we start losing this low here, then there's not much hope of any of the Brexit talks bringing the price of cable any higher. That'll pretty much set the tone, I think, for the remainder of the quarter, and we'll probably see lower prices on cable. But I think this level in here is probably going to offer some level of support to the downside. I don't have an exact level, but I'll be watching this blue line here as a start to see if there's any willingness to go lower beneath that, and then potentially even them rebalancing right in here. Whoops, that's not the right price tag. See them rebalance right in here at around 128. Excuse me, 129. Somewhere in this level in here. I'll just put 129 on the chart so far, and then I'll refine that as they get down to it, if they do want to get down to that. But I'm sort of looking for them to close that up into here first off to start off the week, and then drop and sink it down. Just keep that in mind, that Brexit vote, tentative parliamentary vote on Tuesday, because that's definitely going to come into play in this chart. I'm not going to talk about this too much after that. However, if we do see a reversal starting, seasonal tendencies shifting in both the US dollar, the Euro USD, it's obviously going to happen in the pound dollar as well too. And just speaking on the weekly chart, again, there's several areas above the high that we had just ran, here, here, and obviously all the way up into here. That could be a target. And if you look at this, this low that was set in here, they came down, ran the stops one more time, and then rejected quite aggressively off that. And they failed every single time so far to come back and take out any of these lows. So I think they're just going to run this back down, rebalance down here, and then probably push this higher. But this week will definitely tell what they want to do, and it'll set the stage. US CAD, I'm looking for 135.60 level to get hits on the upside. And again, if we see the US dollar wanting to reach up for this 98.40, it'll obviously take the US CAD up. And but I am looking for a bit of a retracement on the US CAD. I'd like to see them come down, rebalance off of this level down in here, and then look to get higher going forward for the rest of the week. So just keep in mind, though, there's several US Canadian dollar news events for this week. So just bear that in mind if you are going to enter into a US CAD trade. UJ, I'm not looking to do anything on UJ right now. It hit my target last week of 112 even. So I'm going to take this off the radar screen, and once the US dollar does what it's going to do, then we'll have a look and see what UJ is going to do. But if the US dollar decides to roll over, push higher, it'll take this pair up with it, and we could start to see this short-term high in here get run up. But I'm not going to call anything until all of the monetary policy, as you can see here on Thursday going into Friday, monetary policy statements, press conferences, and then the Bank of Japan Governor Kuroda is speaking on Friday. So we'll wait till after that. So I'll talk about this pair again going into next week. I'm not going to talk about Australian dollar. It's just sort of sitting in consolidation range right now. Not much to talk about there. And oil, we're still looking for a pop up to about $58 to $60 range. I've got 6102 labeled on the chart here just as an interim target. But so far we've been consolidating. We consolidated just to break a little bit higher to go back into another consolidation. So I'm hoping that this last Friday's down candle down here is going to be the low that's going to be set in, and we're going to start seeing price expand off of that. So I don't want to see price go any lower than 54.50 that was put in last Friday here. If we talk about down into the hourly, I would like to see them retrace a little bit, and this 55.50 level I think would be an area of interest to me, where I think they could want to bring it back down, rebalance, and then hopefully gain some support and then run higher from there. That's what I'm looking at tentatively right now as a potential for a setup for the week. But I won't know that obviously until that gets down there, if it does get down there at all. It may not get down there at all. It could just continue to run higher, in which case it's going to sweep these highs going into the end of or middle of this week, I would imagine, and finish up. Hopefully it'll finish up strong right around the 58 mark. But I'm hoping that this low that they just took, sweeping underneath that low there, rebalancing off of these levels in here, I'm hoping that was the low of this consolidation, and then they're just going to start sending this higher from here. And that's pretty much about it. I just want to talk real quick about copper. I'm looking at if you guys are a copper in the copper market, I'm looking at this $2.85 level right in here, specifically 2.8555 level as a potential. They've really been supporting price to the upside here. They failed to get under these two lows, these four lows in here, unfortunately, in rebalance. I would have liked to get a long off of there, but instead they just basically came down here, created a couple equal lows, and then expanded it quite aggressively off of that. They could still come down to it, so I'm going to watch and see what they're going to do at this level here first off. If we see any notable reaction, then I'll be looking at getting long. I'd love it if they came all the way back down and rebalanced under these lows here. I think that'd be an easy long, but they certainly don't have to. And copper, just to keep in mind, again, seasonally speaking, it is very bullish right now. for the next little while, and we do have some relatively equal highs back in here that I think they could be looking to recapitalize on the upside. So we'll see how much strength there is in copper if they want to get up to this in the next short little while, or if this is just sort of a flash in the pan and they're going to come rebalance back in the middle again. Because there are definitely some areas, on the monthly chart that I think, these lows here and these lows here where they could bring price all the way back down to. So we'll see what they want to do. I'll be watching that area. I'm not necessarily just going to be jumping into a long, even if it does come back down to this area. I want to see noticeable and convincing rejection and support at this level. If not, then I'll be looking at this level here, and if this level gives way, then again, I believe they're probably just going to try to sink this lower, and this was just a rebalance above these levels in here to grab the highs and grab the buy stops above the market just to sink price lower. So that's all I've got for you this week for the market review for March 11th to the 15th. Again, just I'll counsel you to just keep an eye on the news events for the week, because there are some major ones with the cable for Brexit, and again with monetary policy news events coming up for the yen if you trade any of those pairs. So thanks for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed, check out our YouTube channel and subscribe to it by clicking down here in the bottom right hand corner. And if you're looking for any further advice, trading, market analysis, signals, or anything, any type of coaching or anything like that, go ahead and jump onto f45trading.com, and there's a multitude of different options that you can have a look at to help you in your trading and help refine it and hone it quite a bit. So I look forward to catching up with you guys next week, and if you're in our membership group, I will see you in our live session going into London Open on Tuesday. Thanks, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend.